Welcome back, uplifting life partners, to Marriage Mastery Simplified, cultivating extraordinary connections, the podcast dedicated to helping you build a stronger, more joyful, and resilient marriage. I'm your host, Ron Simplified Myers. Let's ignite possibilities together. Well, folks, this is our Marriage Builder Sunday podcast. And today we're going to talk about how sometimes in our everyday beautiful chaos of life, how we can unintentionally chip away at the very intimacy we crave. And we might not even realize it. So today, we're diving deep into a topic that, while seemingly straightforward, it holds profound power. And that is respecting your partner's body and choices, creating a positive and accepting environment. And to really bring this story home, I want to tell you about Sarah. A story about someone perhaps a lot like you. See, her name is Sarah. And Sarah, like many of us, she has a lot on her plate. She got work, she got the kids, she got the household, the usual juggle. But lately, something's been a little off-kilter in her marriage with Mark. It wasn't big fights or dramatic blow-ups. It's a quiet erosion. See, one evening, Sarah was getting ready for bed. She had a particularly challenging day. Felt a little bloated, a little tired. She caught a glimpse of herself in the mirror, and a sigh escaped her lips. Just then, Mark walked in, glanced at her, and what he probably thought was a helpful suggestion said, "Honey, have you thought about getting back into your running routine? You always feel so much better when you do." Whew. On the surface, that might seem innocent, even caring. But for Sarah, in that moment, it felt like a judgment. It felt like you're not good enough as you are. The warmth in her chest, the desire for connection, just shriveled. And that feeling, that tiny sting, it wasn't new. It's been accumulating, little by little, in different forms. Have you ever felt something similar? Even if the details are different? That subtle feeling of being critiqued, or like your choices aren't quite measuring up in your partner's eyes. If so, this episode is especially for you. So let's begin this journey by discussing the foundation of respect. See, Sarah's experience highlights a crucial point. Respect isn't just about what we say, it's about what we do, how we look, how we listen, and the unspoken messages we convey. In the context of a marriage, respecting your partner's body and choices is absolutely fundamental to building a truly positive and accepting environment. So let's break this down. Body respect. This isn't just about physical intimacy. It's about acknowledging and valuing your partner's physical form, whatever its shape, size, or ability. Again, we did that on Wednesday. Go back and check it out. And it also means refraining from unsolicited comments about their weight, their diet, their appearance, even if you think you're being helpful or encouraging. Think about Mark's comment to Sarah. His intentions might have been good. He remembers she enjoyed running. But his delivery, combined with Sarah's vulnerability in that moment, it landed as a criticism. Folks, this is a common trap. We project our own health aspirations, our own ideals onto our partners. So here's a story point. Remember Sarah's sigh? That was her internal dialogue, her own self-criticism. When Mark's comment echoed it, even faintly, it amplified her insecurity rather than alleviating it. Here's a key insight. Our partners are often their own harshest critics. Our role isn't to join that internal committee. It's to be the most supportive and be their safe space. Choice, respect. This extends to their personal decisions, what they eat, how they spend their free time, their career paths, their friendships, their hobbies, even their spiritual beliefs. It's about recognizing their right to make decisions for themselves, even if those decisions differ from what you would choose. Here's again the story point. Sarah often felt judged for her choices in downtime. If she opted for a quiet evening with a book instead of a family outing, Mark would sometimes playfully but pointedly remark, "Still hiding in your reading cave, are we?" Again, seemingly harmless, but it chipped away at her feeling of being fully understood and accepted for who she was and what she needed. When we disrespect a partner's body or choices, even subtly, we send a message: you're not entirely acceptable as you are. You need to change to meet my expectations or some external ideal. This erodes trust, intimacy, and ultimately the very foundation of partnership. So let's move to the area of what is called the silent language of disrespect and its impact, because it's often the silent language, the subtle cues that do the most damage. We're talking about the look, that lingering gaze that communicates judgment, disapproval, or disappointment about their body or a choice they've made. How about the sigh, a dramatic exhale when they reach for a particular food or decide to watch a show you don't approve of? The backhanded compliment, "You look good for you," or "That outfit almost hides." No, don't do it. Leave it alone. How about unsolicited advice? This is where Mark often stumbled with Sarah. While well intentioned, advice given when not asked for can feel like a critique. "Have you tried this diet? You really should exercise more. Why don't you try this hobby instead?" So now that we've talked about the silent language, let's cover how it can impact your relationship. Erosion of trust. Your partner starts to believe you don't truly have their best interest at heart, or your love is conditional. Decreased intimacy. Emotional and physical intimacy suffer when one partner feels self-conscious or judged. How can you be vulnerable when you're worried about critique? Sarah found herself less inclined to initiate physical intimacy and even less likely to share her true feelings or desires with Mark. Reduced self-esteem. Constant, subtle critiques can wear down a person's confidence, not just in their appearance or choices, but in their overall worth. Sarah began to question her own intuition, her own needs. And what does that create? Resentment and distance. These subtle slights, they build up, creating a wall between partners. The quiet erosion, that's what Sarah was experiencing. Now I know what some of you might be thinking, but I just want my partner to be healthy, or I'm just trying to help them be their best self. And those intentions can be genuine, but the way we communicate those intentions makes all the difference. So that takes us to the next section on building a sanctuary of acceptance. How do we shift from unintentional disrespect to intentional, powerful acceptance? How do we create that sanctuary where our partners feel truly seen, loved, and respected for who they are right now? Well, let's go back to Sarah and Mark for a moment. After that particular night, Sarah finally gently approached Mark. It wasn't an accusation, but a vulnerable share. "Mark," she said, "when you suggested I get back to running, I know you probably meant well. But in that moment, it made me feel like I wasn't okay as I am, like I needed to change for you to be happy with me." Mark, to his credit, was genuinely surprised and remorseful. He hadn't realized the impact of his words. This conversation was a turning point for them. So here's some practical steps we can all take. Number one, practice mindful communication. Before you speak, especially about your partner's body or choices, ask yourself, is this comment truly necessary? Is it kind? Is it coming from a place of genuine support or an underlying judgment? Am I projecting my own insecurities or desires onto them? If this is a boundary they have spoken of or it's unspoken, an example, I don't want to talk about my weight. Number two, focus on appreciation, not criticism. Shift your gaze. Instead of noticing perceived flaws, actively seek out what you admire and appreciate about your partner, their strength, their kindness, their unique beauty, their spirit, and express it. Here is an actionable tip. Every day, tell your partner one specific thing you appreciate about them, unrelated to their appearance or performance. I love how you tackle challenges at work with such resilience. I admire your patience with the kids. Number three, ask, don't assume. If you have a genuine concern about their well-being, ask if they want your input. Honey, I've noticed you seem a bit tired lately. Is there anything you want to talk about or any support you need? This opens the door for them to share rather than feeling lectured. Number four, celebrate their self-direction. Embrace the fact that your partner is a unique individual with their own needs, desires, and paths. Support those choices, even if they differ from yours. Their happiness and fulfillment are intertwined with their ability to be true to themselves. Number five, be a mirror of their best self. Your role is to reflect back to your partner their inherent worth, their beauty, their strength. Be their safe harbor, the person who makes them feel most at ease in their own skin, most confident in their own decisions. Here's a story point. Mark started making a conscious effort. Instead of comments about running, he'd say, "You know what I love about you? Your fierce determination." Or, "You always look so beautiful to me, no matter what." And Sarah started to bloom again. The quiet erosion reversed into a gentle flourishing. Number six, lead by example. Model self-respect and self-acceptance. When you're kind to your own body and honor your own choices, you create a powerful precedent for your partner to do the same. So now we will close out today's segment by briefly touching upon a deeper layer of respecting your partner's body and choices. The continuous conversation around consent and vulnerability, especially in intimate moments. Physical intimacy. True intimacy thrives on enthusiastic consent. This means being in tune to your partner's cues, asking if unsure, and respecting no or not right now without resentment or pressure. It also means respecting their physical boundaries, even if they shift. Their body, their rules. Emotional vulnerability. Create a positive environment means making it safe for your partner to share their deepest insecurities, fears, and even their evolving feelings about their own body or life choices. If they feel judged, they will shut down. Be a non-judgmental listener. Imagine a marriage where both partners feel completely free to be themselves, to pursue their passions, to wear what makes them comfortable, to eat what nourishes them, to simply exist without fear of critique or disapproval from the person who's supposed to love them the most. That's not just a nice ideal. It's the bedrock of a thriving, passionate, and deeply connected partnership. So in conclusion, Sarah and Mark's journey, it wasn't perfect, and they still have moments where old habits try to creep back in. But now they have the tools, they have the awareness, and most importantly, they have a renewed commitment to make their marriage a space for unwavering respect and acceptance. So this week, I challenge you, all my marriage builders, to take a moment to reflect. How are you speaking to your partner, both with your words and your actions, about their body and their choices? Are you building them up or unintentionally chipping away? Let's commit to making our marriage sanctuaries of acceptance. Let's make it a place where our partners feel cherished, valued, and ultimately, wonderfully loved for exactly who they are. Because when we do that, we don't just build a strong marriage, we build a foundation for a beautiful, authentic life together. So I want to thank you for joining me today on Marriage Mastery Simplified. And we'll be back next week for another version of Marriage Builder Sunday. But make sure you listen to Wednesdays first. So until then, I want you to keep building, keep loving, and keep mastering your marriage, one intentional step at a time. For more exclusive training and deeper dives, behind the scenes content, our books, our video series, and the Simplified Uplifters apparel, and that's our online clothing store, make sure you download the Simplify You app today. It's your one-stop shop for all of our resources. It's located inside of Google Play or the Apple Store, and it can be found as Simplified You. The U stands for Uplifters. So it is Simplify You, the letter U, or you can use the website, simplifieduplifters.net, which is a duplication of the app. Again, that's simplifieduplifters.net. We would also appreciate you sharing this episode and the podcast itself with those that you know need to hear it. So thanks again for joining me on this transformative Marriage Builder Sunday. Until we reconnect, be kind to yourself, embrace your journey, and celebrate the incredible, authentic person you are. And most importantly, remember your power. You are extraordinary.